Hello, everyone. It is Wednesday. Wednesday, I tell you, it is. I checked. How are you tonight? Welcome to Wednesday. It is great to have you here this Wednesday. Tell me about your day. What are you grateful for here today? That is what I want to know. What are you grateful for on this Wednesday, the 23rd? The 23rd day of February. 23rd day of February already. It is. Hey, happy hump day, Kitty. It is great to have you here. It is hump day. Hey, Adele and Dazzle and the pets of resale. It is treat time. I tell you. Hope you all are well today. What are you all grateful for? Beautiful, beautiful day here in New England today. Beautiful day. It was absolutely gorgeous today in New England. So we had an absolutely gorgeous day. 60 something today, mid 60s. But by the end of the day, it started cooling off. The wind came through and it was cooling off. So that was a short-lived nice day. Earlier this morning when it was 60, the thermometer, the outside thermometer, Nana was in the kitchen and she was like, what the heck? Why my room's the coldest room in the house. Why isn't the heat kicking on? She's like, I touched all the vents. Nothing's coming on. I'm like, because look at the thermometer outside. I'm like, that's why the heat's not kicking on. Grateful for good sales the last 3 days, especially since snow's moving in tomorrow. I am right there with you, Kitty. Although our snow is Friday, so you're sending it our way. Thank you. You can keep it. You can keep it. Yeah, we've had a very strong week here. We've had a very strong week this week, especially in clothing. We've sold a lot of clothing this week. And we've gotten a ton of great consignments in. So we have gotten a ton of great consignments in this week. We are broadcasting on both Facebook and YouTube. Any problems with Facebook, hop right on over to YouTube. Cassandra's got the link there for you in the show comments. It's right there. With that. So that is there for you. But yeah, the American consumer is strong. We're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. In the face of everything that is knocking down the American consumer, they have been strong and very good buyouts. Yeah, ours has been really strong. We got a ton of home decor in today. I know that. So let me look at it now that I'm at this other desk. I have this other studio that they're setting. That they're still in process of making changes to for me. Let's see, what was today look like for drop-offs? Let's take a look here, because I like reality better than anything else. Today is the 23rd, and let's type in what I mean here. If I could type here today. 53 laundry baskets are closed today. 58 yesterday. And, oops, that's the wrong day. Not the 12th, the 21st. $64 on Monday. So we have had, certainly February, that's 174 baskets in 3 days of clothes. So that is a good amount of clothes in those 3 days. And I know just today we had like 30 something totes of home decor. So certainly a good amount of merchandise coming in. So that is going to lead to future sales. And actually we can talk about that a little bit, because we have made so much we can talk about. You guys get me talking, and there's so much we can talk about with that. Uh, yeah, I mean, there's like 37 totes to process from yesterday and today, so lots of stuff. Yeah, they have had time to clean out with some of the weather and everything else, and we're getting it back. So I know it is coming our way. I know this tease of spring and melting of everything is just a tease. It's just a tease. And good sales in Florida too. I like hearing this around the country. I like getting this perspective and hearing from you all around the country. Hey, Rose, Julie Jankowitz, it's great to have you here as well from the fine, another person from the fine state of Illinois. What did I do with my good our book? Ah, it's over here. See, I'm not used to our new set here, and I didn't know where I put things down. All right, people, let's get started with our Stay Positive book. We need things to stay positive about. If you want to build a winning team, you must value all team members for who they are, not just what they do. Every person, no matter how successful, wants to be appreciated, respected, and valued. Everyone wants to feel cared about. Everyone ultimately wants to be loved. There you go, folks. There you go. That is true. That is true. That is true. And it's funny. There. I do not plan this, but it's just this is one of those the way the universe works things. And I pick up my quote from Simon tonight, right after reading the Stay Positive book, which was just the next page in the book. And the quote tonight from Simon is, value is something people feel, not something we tell them they get. Value is something people feel, not something we tell them they get. And is that not the truth? Is that not the truth? I have bonus trivia. Has Adele got her thinking cap on? I know it's not the right day, but I have some. I was cleaning up things on my desk, and I'm like, oh, I have this trivia I haven't used. I mean, I can save it for Sunday, but I think Adele always likes to have her thinking cap on for my crazy trivia, and I thought I'd throw that at you tonight. I thought I'd throw a little trivia at you tonight. If you double, hey, all right. Adele is ready. Adele is ready. Okay, so you know the rules, folks. Three of these stories are real. One of them is fake. Can you spot the fake story this time? Story number one: Yankee Candle is sold limited edition salsa scented salt. I am all tongue tied today. Is sold limited edition salsa scented candles for the Super Bowl. Story number two: couples can get married or renew their vows for free at Denny's pop-up wedding chapel on Valentine's Day. KFC was selling giant snuggle pillows in the shape of a chicken sandwich ahead of Valentine's Day, or about 60,000 bees were stolen from the headquarters of Grocer the Giant Company. Which of those is the fake story? Is it Yankee Candle sold limited edition salsa scented candles for the Super Bowl? Couples could get married or renew their vows for free at Denny's pop-up wedding chapel on Valentine's? Was KFC selling a giant snuggle pillow in the shape of a chicken sandwich ahead of Valentine's Day? Or were 60,000 bees stolen from the headquarters of Grocer the Giant Company? Which of those is fake? Give that some time to think. Continued size inclusion. Okay, size inclusion. We've talked a lot about clothing retailers becoming more size inclusive, and there have been a lot of retailers who have moved to be more size inclusive and have more sizes available in store on the rack because we know people wear larger sizes. The latest to join this game is Victoria's Secret. Victoria's Secret will be introducing XXL swimwear, and they have a TikTok star to help promote it. So XXL swimwear from Victoria's Secret, and again, becoming more size inclusive. And I think as an industry, this is a good thing. I think it's really good that these manufacturers are finally getting on and realizing what size Americans are. Okay. Like you couldn't tell from all our big SUVs. We like things bigger. We are, it's just the reality. And coming out of this pandemic, everybody is feeling size conscious. It's been a big thing with people that, as you've seen them in person and stuff, as more people are being seen in person, that they're conscious of their size. And honestly, everybody's been locked in. I don't want you to be self-conscious over it, but I'm glad the manufacturers are getting with it. Ooh, you guys got lots of guesses up there already. Oops, I have this other screen over here. Most of you are guessing KFC is the fake. Where's my glasses here? Let's see. We've got most of the guesses are for KFC selling a giant snuggle pillow in the shape of a chicken sandwich for Valentine's Day. No, that is true. Actually, all of you were KFC. So no, that is a true story. Yes, more people are getting called back to the office, and I'm really encouraged to that. Yankee Candle is, so that leaves us. The fake story is among these three. Yankee Candle sold salsa scented candles for the Super Bowl. Couples can get married at a Denny's pop-up for Valentine's Day, or 60,000 bees were stolen from the headquarters of the Giant Company. One of those is fake. Our friends at TJ Maxx, again, good for the economy. Thrill of the hunt. They're really out of retailers. They're closest. They are closest to the to resale. Okay, in where they have the thrill of the hunt. They have different merchandise mix in their stores, and they really do fall in that line close to resale. There's a lot to be learned from them, but they have passed pre-pandemic sales levels. Where their sales are up 13% against the same period 2 years ago. So that is good. That's on a national basis, though. Excuse me there. And so that is on a national basis. They do talk about regionality shifts with that. Excuse me. That not all stores, that is an average. That is the company average on stores. So that is important to note, that there are regionalities with that, and not every region in the country is surpassing that. Not every store is, but things overall are headed in a positive direction, and that is really good news. The bees is real too, as Kitty points out. The bees are real. So that left us the salsa candle or the pop-up at Denny's. And Rose nailed it on the last try there. We're leaving the salsa for the chips. Yankee Candle into salsa scented candles. Although, like with all this trivia, none of this would surprise me. I mean, that's what makes it hard. That's what makes it interesting. So, as you look at priorities of different age groups, Rose, the Yankee Candle factory, or the founding factory for Yankee Candle, isn't far from where we live. It's in Western Massachusetts. Um, in between where we live in Connecticut and Vermont, closer to Vermont, as you head up that part of Massachusetts, is the original Yankee Candle factory. So pretty much they can add a cent to anything, and some of the things they do there is pretty neat. It is pretty neat what they do there. And then I mean, you have the original founder of Yankee Candle's son, who started his own candle company, Pringle Candle, that's located in the right there as well. And you can do tours and all sorts of neat things. Sometimes when you all come back this way, we can do that kind of stuff. We can go leaf peeping or something. As you look at priorities of different age groups, and this is sort of a trivia question, and what's important for different age group. If you were a millennial, what would be important to you to have in your will? Any guesses what a millennial would put in their will? 77% of millennials that have a will have this in their will. Okay, 77% of millennials have this in their will. Think about that for a second. I know that's extra trivia for you, but give that a thought for a second. I was really encouraged. I talked about size, inclusivity, and everything a minute ago, and how that's a real important thing, and really, changing perceptions and changing businesses that have been run by men. The fact that the U.S. Women's Soccer Federation, won their pay dispute that they've been suing for years for equal pay with the men, I think is huge, and got a settlement with it. Their kids, well, you're close, Kitty. You are close. You are close. 77% of millennial have designated someone to act as a pet guardian in their will. They have a pet guardian in their will. Is what is in millennials' wills. So I guess it's good to know that they care about something. They care about Fido and Princess and Dazzle. So it is good. It is good to know that. It is good to know they care about something. It's also interesting this week. There's an interesting shift in labor, and it's made the news a little bit, but it's really, I would have thought that more for seniors too, but I remember when our pet was everything in our world and the only thing, pre-Rebecca. I remember that. People spend a ton of money on their pets. People spend a ton of money on their pets. I have friends that own pet stores, and they spend a ton of money. It's an incredibly competitive business on a lot of fronts right now, with the Chewies and such in the business, and Amazon in it. It's gotten incredibly competitive, but cute little add-ons of pet things. I mean, we get sometimes from one of our suppliers that we get some of our food snacks in that we sell. Sometimes they have some pet treats, and we sell those. Some like freshly baked pet treats, and we add that on, and they sell, because it's, again, you're trying to hit what people have, what they love, where they put their value, and they do value their pets. They many times value them more than they value their kids. I'm not going to make a judgment on that. With the whole what you do outside of work matters, okay, type thing. It's been interesting. This week there was a executive at Estee Lauder, okay. Oh, Lindsay, you miss a minute, miss a lot, but it's great to have you here. Miss a minute, miss a lot, but it's great to have you here. This week, an executive at Estee Lauder was suspended and will probably be fired This executive heads up their MAC and Clinique Cosmetics division because of a post a personal post he did on his personal Instagram. And it's going to be interesting following this forward because, you know, your actions outside of work matter, and it has for a long time. You know, I'll never forget this guy that got caught. He was wearing a company shirt, you know, that said, you know, for the retailer he worked for, that said staff on the back. And he called out on opening day of the Red Sox one year. And there he was on the front page of the paper getting arrested for scalping tickets out in front of Fenway Park for the Red Sox. So, you know, what happens, you know, and he's there in the photo wearing the company shirt, being arrested. You know, so what you do and say, you know, matters, both at work and off work. And we're in this really unusual time. And one of the things that, you know, from a legal perspective that's being looked at very heavily is the amount of contact and the amount of things you're doing outside of work, whether that's responding to emails, texts, phone calls, and things outside of work hours. That is something the Department of Labor is really looking at right now, how to classify that, especially with hourly employees. And with that, then how speech is protected or not protected, okay? When is your own view your own view? Now, this guy said some bad and stupid stuff, okay, joking about COVID and made a racial slur on top of it in separate posts. And, you know, so you've got a combination of dumb in that. But this is going to be a very dicey area for employers. You know, at this executive level at Estee Lauder is one thing where there's, you know, big bucks involved and everything, and it's good to see a company take action. But things like this can come down to you. And, you know, think of you know, the people doing your live videos. Okay, they have a voice. People become relatable to them. What they say, you know, outside of work matters. You know, the scene they cause in the middle of the grocery store when they decide to be a Karen matters, okay, or can matter. So it is an interesting concept, and we need to follow it from a labor perspective and stay on top of that. Oh, that's true, Rose. As a former school teacher, Rose was always self-conscious of what she did or how she appeared to others after hours, and that does hold true today. I mean, you know, I used to, you know, driving the company truck teaches you a lot. You know, sort of, you know, as a road warrior myself, driving the company truck. I think of the days. You know, my younger days driving my father's delivery truck, okay, which the air conditioning did not work in. And, you know, so your name and number are plastered on all sides of that, you know, so how you drive, how you reflect is immediately reflected in that. So our actions matter. And in this pandemic world, you know, everybody's been cooped up. They don't know how to interact. They don't know how to interact with people anymore. So it's almost like we're all learning our social skills again. And it's trying on in the environments where we're learning. And I know I'm giving people a lot of grace because some of you would argue that this is people's natural outtakes, that this is really the way they are. But I give people some grace in this and say, well, you know, they've been cooped up. People have been cooped up. People haven't been social. People haven't been out. And they sometimes forget how to act. I mean, you know, if you're not practicing good actions, you lose it. You know, so to Rose's point of always practicing that when she's out. But there's lots of people that haven't been out. and are now starting to get out. So it is an interesting phenomenon. It is something that we do need to watch and keep an eye on as we move forward, because our actions do matter, and we should many times held accountable. So but the interesting part of it is, when are you off? When are you off work? And that is something the actual Labor Department is looking at, because of people responding to email, especially hourly staff, responding to emails, texts, and calls after work hours. So something to keep an eye on, and something that we will be doing. Another thing that is happening across the country right now that is kind of interesting. I'll hit on two interesting points of things that are yeah, when you're asleep. I go out of town if I want to be off. I love it. I love it. Love it. We've talked about dark here, and dark storefronts isn't what it used to mean when a store went out of business and you just had this empty shell. Dark storefronts are popping up for all sorts of things right now, and what the new industry term for a dark storefront is a space that is used really to fulfill an online order, whether that's a dark restaurant or a dark retail establishment that's just there to fill online orders and close proximity. And cities and towns across the country are actually looking, in support of retail, and I like this. It is actually banning dark store. That if you have a retail establishment, it needs to be open for retail business and transactional business, and you can't have these storefronts where customers can't go to, because they don't want to end out with cities of just dark storefronts. So I admire the concept of what they're doing. We'll have to see what happens with legislation, but there is a lot of legislation in different cities and towns across this country looking to outlaw dark storefronts. And it will be very interesting to see what happens with that, and how that progresses. So that because I don't want to see a downtown or a city block full of all dark stores where there are people in there working. They could be cooking things for a takeout restaurant. They could be fulfilling Uber orders. Retail space is usually more expensive than warehouse space. That is true, but what the reason they're doing this, and they're paying for this space, Kitty, is proximity. Okay, so they can that quick delivery. They are hunting out space in all sorts of places, and you have to keep in mind, part of this is fueled by venture capital. These rapid delivery services are flush with lots and lots of money. And so they are spending the money and creating these places, dark kitchens, dark retail spaces, and but it is interesting that towns are looking to outdo them and get rid of them. So it'll be interesting. Some consignment store owners use dark space, and it's different what they're using it. Some of them, Lindsay, are using it as studio space. I have a warehouse space that I have with our processing center is a complete warehouse space, but it's in a warehouse. Okay, it's not taking up retail space, and it's an economic move. It has all to do with the economics of it, not proximity to customers or anything else. Interesting thing to consider, to be aware of, is our friends at LVMH. LVMH is moving on a lot of things right now. They are moving in a lot of different directions right now. They're actually opening a factory in a former monastery in France, which is interesting. But what's really interesting is they're on the acquisition bandwagon again. remember during the pandemic, or actually the deal started just before the pandemic. The deal was signed before the pandemic and was completed during the pandemic. They bought Tiffany. And now they are on the hunt for another acquisition, and they have one in their sights. Whether it comes together, it has not, nothing official on this yet. I'm just giving you this to digest a little bit and have in the back of your head that there is talk that that they are looking at acquiring Ralph Lauren. Ralph is not getting any younger. Ralph is, what is he, 82 now? Something like that. Yeah, 82. And, you know, the rumor is that he's thinking of his legacy and how this runs, how his brand continues and is curated long after him. And so that there have been talks between them is quite interesting. It's quite interesting to see what happens with that. Quite interesting. So, you know, we will keep an eye on that. Go Ralph. You know, still he looks pretty good for 82. I got to give him credit. He looks pretty good for 82. You know. And you know, he's built a brand. He has built a brand and a design and a, you know, he's something. He's something, Ralph Lauren. I give him a lot of credit. Hey, it's all good, Lindsay. It's all good. It's all good. I got a great, I'm being interviewed tomorrow about the resale industry and about what it's like to open brick and mortar and make that shift to brick and mortar. I'll share that interview when it gets published. That'll be an interesting interview. I'm looking forward to that tomorrow. And I'm looking forward to you guys in the middle of the country keeping the snow. So please keep the snow when you get it. Send it south. I don't know, Texas could use somebody else. You don't have to send it east, but we're getting ready for that. I've got a bunch of stuff I got to get organized for Sunday. We will resume on Sunday with some great topics, I promise you. And you know what else I promise you is this video and everything I talk about. This video and everything I talk about goes over to narts.org/resalestrong by noon the next day. Noon, I tell you, all the files, all the links, all the videos go over there to narts.org/resalestrong and the YouTube channel. You're not alone running this store where you can like, comment, subscribe, and oh yes, I got the bell over here now. You can ring the bell so you know when another one drops. You can also share it with all your friends in business, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, so we can help everybody make it to the other side. I'm here every Wednesday and Sunday at More 8 Than Ish. More 8 Than Ish every Wednesday and Sunday. But if you have a question in between, just email me, Neil, Neil, at ECIstores.com, Neil at ECIstores.com. We start this program every night with this Stay Positive book. If you were not here at the top of the program, our first half was, if you want to build a winning team, you must value all team members for who they are, not just what they do. Every person, no matter how successful, wants to be appreciated, respected, and valued. Everyone wants to feel cared about. Everyone ultimately wants to be loved. You are greater than your circumstances, more courageous than your fears. The struggle is real, but you are strong. Life is tough, but you are tougher. You've got this. God's got you. There you go, people. I miss having drawings. We don't have. The one thing I don't like about this book is we don't have the drawings that we had in the other book. I like some of the art in the other book. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, even. We will party again. We will party in person, and when we do, I'm going to be there with you. But until then, and until Sunday at More 8 Than Ish, know that you, and you, but most importantly you, yes you, you're not alone running this store. Have a great night, everybody. I will see you on Sunday.